Okay, so today I'm here with Debbie, and she has just come to the end of the Whole Body Reboot program. And so we're gonna have a little conversation today to talk about a little bit about what her experience was like on the program, and why she chose to do it, and how it might be different from other programs. And yeah, just anything that she's learned that she might want to be sharing with other people considering doing the Whole Body Reboot. So Debbie, thanks for meeting with me.
My pleasure.
It's been amazing to meet you and work with you and see your journey so far. I'm really interested to know, I know you've lost 35 pounds, but it isn't just the weight loss. You've had some other insights and some other improvements as well along the way. So yeah, I would just like to hear maybe from you to start. What were you struggling with before, like when we first spoke, when you first came to the Whole Body Reboot? What were you like? Had you tried other things, and what were you hoping the Whole Body Reboot would help you with?
Well, I definitely hoped that it was going to be the answer, because for me, I had been very slim my whole life. So I weighed about 118 most of my life. And when I went into menopause, all of a sudden I started to gain weight, and I gained probably about 45 pounds, somewhere in that range. So for somebody who ate well and exercised and spent my whole life looking after being healthy, it was very distressing for me to a certain degree. And I did try anything and everything. Like, I can't even explain how much money I would have. Well, Greg probably has it added up somewhere in terms of how much money I threw at the same 35 or 40 pounds. And, you know, everything from bioidentical hormone therapy. You know, I tried keto, it didn't work for me. I tried paleo, that didn't work. I did a couple of doctors that wrote books that, you know, I mean, it would work for a little while, but it wouldn't work long term. And I think when I looked at Whole Body Reboot, I had watched a girlfriend of mine that I knew quite fairly well, about my height, my size, you know, going through menopause as well. I saw actually one of her videos, and she talked about the fact that she was able to keep the weight off. And I think that that's the really big thing that people should be and are the most concerned about. I mean, to go through a weight loss program and then not be able to keep it off is very distressing, or to have the weight come back. So, you know, when I spoke to you the first time, that was the part that really appealed to me. Was I had watched somebody who, she had kept the weight off, her husband had kept the weight off. And so I had a lot of confidence coming into the program, because it was somebody that I knew. And also when I spoke to you, I felt that same confidence as well. And then starting the program, you know, I didn't find it difficult to do. I found it, you know, I found it actually very refreshing, and it worked. I mean, I started losing weight right away. I mean, some days you wouldn't really believe the scale, and you wouldn't believe the amount of time that it was taking you to lose the weight. So it seemed like a very short period of time and a shorter investment of time. I mean, if it's going to take me a year to lose 8 pounds, I'm not as motivated. No, I mean, I really did try everything, including almost starving myself. Because it was that distressing to me. But I knew that that wasn't the answer, because I knew enough about nutrition that if you do that, you are going to ruin your metabolism for life. So that was the other thing about this particular program, was that, you know, you're on a 6-week releasing part or losing part, and then you're stabilizing that weight. So you're giving your body a chance to realize that this is the new weight. And then you're going on to the next. So you're not just constantly trying to lose the weight, and maybe, you know, adjusting your metabolism in the wrong way. And I think that's the other reason that this particular, you know, program is appealing to people, and it works. With keto, for me, there's too much fat in that program, and I actually ended up in the hospital. So, you know, it wasn't the right program for me. I know people lose weight on keto, and for other people it could be very successful. Was not successful for me at all. I was on bioidentical hormone therapy for probably at least 6 months, and I really couldn't continue to afford to continue on, and I actually gained weight.
Wow.
And the person that was the practitioner, really, I didn't get a lot of warm fuzzies, or that person actually cared about me, you know, as an individual that was supporting that particular practice financially.
I remember the first couple times we spoke, and I think it was hard. Like, you really wanted to make sure like how this could be any different, because you had really, you know your stuff, right? You have a background of health and nutrition. You knew a lot. So you really wanted to make sure, like, how can this really be any different than all the other hundreds of things out there that you've tried and looked into, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you really drilling me and asking the right questions, because that's the thing for women out there. They want to, it's hard to believe after a while, like, how is anything going to be different than the things they've tried, and then the weight just comes back on, or it doesn't work, and it just gets so defeating after a while.
Yeah, and I think with this program as well, like, there's lots of different things I've learned along the way. I realized that I was probably eating food too quickly, and a lot of our society, the food that's out there is stuff that you swallow. You just swallow it. You don't really chew it that much. And this program's made me realize that you really need to slow down and eat, and you need to take the time to eat and really enjoy your food. And that's the other real benefit for me, is I've learned how to really enjoy whatever it is that I'm eating. And I often hear women talking about cheating, or about, you know, that it's sort of they're hard on themselves where they are right now. And I don't think that that's really necessary. I think if you can like yourself where you are, you'll get to where you want to go. And I think that if you just realize that food actually is your friend, and the scale is actually your friend, you'll realize that, you know, like, something that I've realized in the last month is that I can almost eat anything that I want to eat. I can eat anything that I want to eat, and I don't have to gain weight permanently. And I can enjoy my life, and I can enjoy celebrations, and I can enjoy my life with food, and I don't have to be at war with it, or I've cheated today, or I've done it. It means you've done something wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. So I really think that as women, we really need to be able to embrace the fact that, you know, we actually can eat all foods, and not all foods are bad. Actually, food is our friend. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and the scale is actually our friend too. It sort of keeps us, you know, it keeps track. Mm-hmm. But it keeps track in, you know, in a really good way. And, you know, something that I've realized too in the last month is just watching my partner. So I think it makes a lot of women mad that the men in their lives seem to be able to eat whatever they want and not gain weight. And that's amazing to me. And, you know, I really believe this now. I really believe that because they don't care. They're not all caught up with food, and they're all not freaked out about, you know, this is fattening or that's fattening, or, you know, I'm going to gain 5 pounds if I eat that or drink that, or whatever the case may be. And I don't mean it to be a free for all. I just mean that you can enjoy your life, and you can enjoy celebrations, and you can enjoy food, and it's not an enemy.
Absolutely. And so it's absolutely essential when we go through the detox that we also learn to heal our relationship with our bodies and with food and with eating, because if we don't do the mindset stuff as well, then the same thoughts and the same bad habits and everything like that can come back. So we can do the detox, we can drop the weight, but we have to correct the underlying stuff too. And that's the real key component to it staying off, but not in a willpower way. It will stay off, and we're free with food and with our eating moving forward. It's freedom, like what you're saying is real freedom. Mm-hmm. And so, and you're very right, when we eat and we don't we're not stressed or feeling guilty about what we're eating, and we're honoring food in our body, it causes our whole system to calm down and relax, and then it will deal with the food properly, and will naturally hear our instincts when they're saying, we've had enough, we're full, we don't want any more. But when we're stressed or tense, or we have angst with our bodies or with food, we're constantly in a stress state, and that's what causes everything to go out of whack. That will make our body want to hang on to the fat. It will lower the metabolism. It will not give us the natural signal that we're full. It will cause cravings. So, it's both. We have to take care of the physical side and the toxins and the detox, but it's essential that we do the mindset part and the healing, helping women heal, so that, they love their bodies again, and they feel like food, and the scale, even, I love that, is their friend, not the enemy that we're at war with. That is amazing. Like, the words you're saying, this is my goal. I repeat it so much in the program, and so you're just totally my hero right now, saying these words. Like, it's really shifted some of the way that you look at food and your life and eating now.
Yeah, it really has, because for, the 5 years gaining the weight, and also having that mindset of, always being really slim and trim, and then having people, or even having Greg, look at me and go, every time I would have something that maybe someone would say would be cheating, but he'd look at me and say, well, you really need to have that. And, I don't need to hear stuff like that. And, he would definitely hear about it. What he would say. But every woman's gone through this with their guys, where they're looking at them the wrong way, because, do you really need to eat that, or do you really need to drink that, or whatever? I don't need, you just have to, it is really about, it gets to the point where you realize that you can handle whatever it is that you're going to eat, and you're going to make the right choices, because there's certain foods that make you feel fantastic. But you and I were talking a couple of days ago, and my birthday, and I came up, and I had a trip to Toronto, and we decided to go to Montreal, and I had two choices. I could have just taken those 6 days and went to every restaurant and told them I wanted broccoli steamed with nothing on it, and chicken with nothing on it. And the same with, the celebration of this award that I won for work, etc. And, I really thought about it, and I thought, no, you know what? I'm just going to go, and I'm just going to enjoy my life. I'm going to enjoy this time, because it's never going to happen again. And when I get home, whatever the scale says is whatever the scale is going to say. But I know that I will be able to deal with that, and it will all be okay. And it was okay. I totally enjoyed that week. It was amazing. And I didn't worry about the food. I didn't worry about what I was eating. I didn't worry about anything. When I got home, the scale was 6 pounds higher. And in 5 days, it was right back to where it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So, for me, that was very powerful, because it taught me that, not that I would go out, that's necessarily how I would be eating every day, but I don't have to, I can enjoy my life. And I think people should, you want to be able to still enjoy your food, and you want to be able to enjoy your life and enjoy where you are right now, and keep going to whatever your goal is.
It's not sustainable otherwise.
No,
how many years have we spent worrying about what should I eat? I remember thinking the night before, okay, tomorrow's the day I'm going to eat this way. I'm going to eat super clean, or I'm not going to eat much at all, or I'm going to follow this diet plan or whatever. And then of course you don't follow through with it or whatever. And you just feel so discouraged. Like so many years of my life are caught up in controlling or trying to have willpower over what I ate. Mm-hmm. And it's just so amazing to have freedom from that. So you just naturally follow your body's instincts. You can eat what you want, and you have freedom, and you know that your body is going to handle it properly and stop eating when you're full. And I can hear people saying, but Carrie, if I let my body just eat whatever it wanted and I didn't use willpower, I would go off fly off the handle, right? But that is because they haven't switched that switch to self-honoring. And if we're in that state of, I have to control what I eat, or my body's like gonna work against me, then you know, there's a real shift that has to happen there, where we're looking at and feeling like we're working with our body, and our body is always there to support and protect us. And so there's a little bit of a journey that has to happen to get to that place, because we're in such a habit of thinking our body's working against us.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. But if I'm going to be on a holiday, or we went out with some friends on Friday night for dinner, and we were at an Italian restaurant, and pasta's not my favorite thing to eat in a restaurant anyways, but you know, I had some fish, and the fish was awesome, but you know, I had a couple of glasses of wine, and I totally enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And you know, I wouldn't call that cheating. I wouldn't call it anything other than being out with some friends for dinner, which we don't see very often, and just enjoying something that I enjoy as well.
I think what women don't realize, I've done a video on this, I call it vitamin P, and it's pleasure, right? Because when we eat, it's much more than the actual nutrients in the food that we need to get from the meal. It's the socializing, it's the celebration, it's the colors, it's the whole experience of eating that nourishes us. And it's really, really important, and it's actually healthy. We've kind of been taught in our culture that it's it's better to just restrict it and have the broccoli and chicken only, but that's not true. We need to be able to enjoy the whole experience, and that's very nourishing for us.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally agree with that, and I like that vitamin P, because I'm going to use that now, Carrie. But you know, I mean, again, life is meant to be enjoyed as well, but you know what? When I say that, I mean it very honestly, that I enjoy the everyday food that I eat that keeps my body leaner and healthier, and I love all of that food.
Yeah.
But when we're having dinner here in a couple of weeks, and I'm making a crepe dinner served on wild rice, we'll have wine, and we'll have, you know, a glass of Prosecco beforehand. And you know, these aren't end of world issues. These are great issues to have.
And they're not cheating. I love that you said, like, that word's got to go. I'm cheating. It's that whole concept of thinking. Then it's like foods are good or bad, and as soon as we label them, we cause an issue with them, and then we also have a stress around it when we're eating them, and that's the thing that's causing our body to hang on to the fat and not deal with it properly. Most of your clothes are fitting now. You're feeling not just like the weight off, but the benefits. What benefits have you had to your life that you didn't have before, for your health?
Well, I think that, you know, someone looking in might look at it from a weight perspective, because that's our first thing that we look at as women, and our body shape and all of that. So for me, I have lost 35 pounds in what I would consider to be a very short period of time. So in basically not quite 2 rounds on this program. So that's a significant amount of weight in that period. I thought I wanted to lose more initially, but as you said, I've told you that, you know, all of the clothes in my closet, I had a fashion show this week, and everything fits. So I'm good. And so I've gone from wearing a size 12 or a 14 back down to a size 6. So I'm really pleased with, you know, the way that I look in clothes. I think that now I'm ready to, you know, hop back on my very healthy exercise wagon and do some toning and do some Olympic weightlifting, maybe get back into running, which won't be so hard on my joints now, carrying 35 extra pounds around with me. I think that, you know, what people will learn, everyone's going to be a little bit different, but I think the really important reason to start is when you get involved with a group and you see the care that is in our support group and the other women that are joining you and are ahead of you, and the success that they've had, and how they feel about it. It's not just how I feel about it, but they have their own feelings and how it's changed their life. And it does change your life long term, and anyone's welcome to, and including you, Carrie. I mean, I want to stay in your group anyways.
Just if there's any emotional eating that comes up, or any of that old ideas around food, that's the stuff that we have a lot of support for after the program as well, because I don't want people to come back and need to do the program again, or gain it back, or have issues, or ever go on a diet again. This is really correcting it for once and for all.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other, definitely I would encourage people, because this is a program and they can take it from somebody who tried everything under the sun to lose that 35 pounds, and nothing worked. And this has worked, and I know that it's going to work for the long haul. And that's what I was really concerned about, because there are programs where you can lose weight, but there's no support, and there's, you know, a lot of women will gain it back, and that's very self-defeating for women. And we don't, amongst all the other things that we have to deal with in our lives, that's the last thing we need, is something that's that self-defeating.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Well, I really, really appreciate you sharing all your thoughts and your experience and your wisdom about your journey. And thank you so much for joining me on this interview today.
Thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate you and all of the support that you give all of your clients.
Well, you know, my heart is really, truly in it, and I love the group and the clients.